Right, let's talk then about the 1-1. Let's talk about the controversy. First of all, there's a clear difference of opinion between what Peter Walton thinks and what the three of you think. He says that's a penalty because he doesn't get his arm out of the way, therefore it's deliberate handball. All of you are telling me there's no way he can get his arm out of the way.
And the argument we have is, as a ref, if you're a player, you understand your arm's in a natural position, you're trying to get out the way. He's not trying to block it with his hand. His arm's not going to the ball. Where's he supposed to go? Well, he doesn't even have a second to... I know as a ref that looks like a penalty, and maybe, but as a player, if you're in that position, it's impossible to move your arm any quicker than that. So I don't understand how he can give it.
I said before to you, Jake, you stand a couple of yards away from me and let me blast the ball at you.
No.
See how quickly
I don't want to do that.
It's difficult. It looks like it should be easy on the screen there, but if you actually play it on in real life, it's difficult to get your arm out of the way. And his arm is motioning backwards to come away from the ball. It's not like his arm's come out to go here. His arm's come backwards away from the ball. So that suggests he's trying to get out of the way.
OK, well, let's get a response then from Peter. Peter, you can hear the guys here in the studio. You have refereed hundreds of games.
Yeah.
Your response to that?
Still think it's a penalty kick. I think
very good.
The ball has travelled a distance. Otamendi's got every opportunity to pull his arm out the way. And if you notice,
distance, though?
Well, he almost tightens his arm. His fist, he makes a fist because he realises there's going to be connection, and at the last moment he decides to pull his arm away.
But Peter, that can't even be a second, really, can it? I understand what you mean, but I just think as a player, your arm's in a position, you're preparing for the ball. It's hard to get it out of the way, I just think.
I'm not suggesting it's easy, Owen. Absolutely right, I'm not suggesting it's easy. But the point is, he's made a contact with the ball with his arm in the penalty box, and for me, it's a penalty kick. I think had it not been given a penalty kick and it was for Manchester City, you'd have been arguing the other side of it. So for me, it's a penalty kick.
OK, I think we can probably sit here till 2 o'clock in the morning, and the four of you might not agree on this. There are things that we do have to discuss as well, though. The referee not going to the screen. Now, you and I have both been to a UEFA briefing where they've said to us they are desperate for the referees not to be undermined by VAR, and he didn't go to the screen because it was broken. So how do we deal with this situation? Should they have still made the decision? Should they have still used VAR? I mean, they've had the system working in Germany.
Firstly, you need
a couple of seasons.
You need a backup machine. Firstly,
it's not great, is it, Peter?
No, it's not great, and I think UEFA will learn from this evening. However, if the system is down, we're still operating the game as if the system's not there. Now, we both attended that meeting from Roberto Rossetti, the head of refereeing in UEFA, and he said the referee must be seen to be making that decision. And had the equipment been working, I'm sure you'd have seen him going across to the sideline because it was a subjective decision to have a look. But in this instance, wasn't working, but we get on with the game.
Yeah, but ain't there mobile phones, iPads hanging about the stadium somewhere?
Well, I'm sure...
The referee could go and have a look at?
Yeah, I'm sure...
It sounds simple. It does sound simple.
That sounds simple. I'm sure there will be contingency plans made up. But at the moment, there wasn't any there at that stadium this evening, and therefore the game just carried on. OK, I know that you're mates with Roberto Rossetti. Maybe he can get the BT Sport app downloaded to his phone and pass it around to his refs. One other really quick point about that. We talk a lot about clear and obvious. It took 3 minutes to make that decision. If it was clear and obvious, should it have taken 3 minutes? Well, look, we both are aware that it's about getting the decision correct. And I won't beat the drum about getting the decision correct because ultimately, in my opinion, they got the decision correct. Yes, it did take a time, and yes, it took too long, in my opinion. And again, I think UEFA will be looking at that. But again, the VAR has got to factor in all the different angles, and maybe he's taken the time just to analyse those different angles to come to the correct decision. It will get quicker as we get more experienced.
OK, then there was the penalty decision and the issue with Fernandinho. Look, the question here from all of the guys in the studio, should that not have been given as offside before the penalty was given? Well,
you can see he's in an offside position as the ball comes over, but he hasn't created an offence yet. The offence is only created when either he touches the ball or heads the ball or he interferes with an opponent from playing the ball. He did neither, and as far as the law is concerned, he's only in an offside position. He hasn't committed an offence yet. So, for me, again, correct decision.
None of you are a fan of that, though, are you?
No. Yeah, but Nastasic is going to the ball, isn't he?
Yeah, Nastasic is offside. He's going towards the ball. If he's not there, the keeper catches the ball. So he's obviously interfering. I just don't understand how...
You can understand the confusion, can't you, Peter?
I just think there's more grey areas than anything else to be created with all these rules.
Well, exactly right. However, as the law is written, he's not offside until he commits the offence, and the offence wasn't committed because he got nowhere near the ball, he didn't interfere with an opponent getting the ball, and he wasn't in the line of sight with the goalkeeper. And ultimately, that was the correct decision in not ruling him offside.
But what about Jolin's point about Nastasic? If he's not there, then
Well,
Ederson catches the ball comfortably.
Well, does he catch the ball comfortably? Would he punch it like a lot of goalkeepers do?
He punched it because there was somebody close to him. That's the only reason he did.
Well, OK, but that's an interpretation you're putting on it. All I'm saying is that as far as the law is concerned, he hasn't committed an offence.
Yeah. And look, the way this has to work is we have to take the law. It's the law that matters, and Peter knows it inside out. Listen, Peter, not easy, I know, to go through all of that, so thanks ever so much for your company tonight. Well done. Much appreciated. Good man.